Gaffer, if we can just look back to the FA Trophy win against Yeovil first of all, is there a part of you that feels that you've set the record a bit more straight now after the league game?
Yeah, I was just, the main reason for being pleased is that our team put in a good performance on and off the field, as we always say, and I think our supporters enjoyed the way we played and the energy, and of course there was changes from both sides, but the boys played our game and had lots of opportunities, and it was a great game for both sets of supporters and the neutral. Obviously it's pleasing to win the game after getting beat by them a week or so earlier, but yeah, so it was a good performance, and certainly a really good atmosphere that the boys really enjoyed playing in front of.
If you don't mind saying, it looked much more like a Gary Johnson side of that, and you made the point after the game that actually in some respects it didn't matter what competition it was. Yes, Yeovil didn't have perhaps what was people would assume their strongest side, but you could equally say the same, couldn't you?
Yeah, we can, but both managers are also going to say that because you don't disrespect anybody that you bring in, otherwise they shouldn't be at the club if you don't think they can do a job. So both managers have said, you know, it's the team that you put out for that game, and you have to win that game. You know, neither team goes out to lose the game. So no, I think it was. Our squad is getting slightly bigger. In that way, the squad gets better because, as I keep saying, it's better to have the competition. And then when there's competition, training becomes more competitive. The games, people can't afford to have a dodgy game because they know there's some good players sitting on the bench or not even on the bench. At this stage, you know, we've got a selection for the team at this minute in time. We've got a few lads coming back from injury that could be available on Saturday. We're just checking them over the next couple of days. And so there's competition for the subs bench, which is great, which is what everybody needs, because you know, if somebody's doing well, they stay in, and then the next bloke who's on the bench has got to work hard to get in the team. The next 4 games are Saturday, Tuesday, so we should have enough to be competitive in all those games, and it's an important period leading up to the Christmas period.
Obviously disappointing that the Taunton game was postponed. You never want games postponed, but has it, you just touched upon it then slightly, has it given you any room to manoeuvre as any other players like to be back into contention?
There would have been a few players that wouldn't have been able to play, that's for sure. 100% wouldn't have been able to play. They were towards the end of their rehab. So that little gap has probably now given them the opportunity to be available for selection, and that's good, and that's the position we want to be in. I want a headache every week of wondering, you know, have I got to upset him? Do I upset him? Who do you make happy? Who do you disappoint? And that's the nature of the game, and I've been doing that for 35 years. So I think, you know, it's a good position to be in if you can manage the group when it's a bigger group.
Now, statistics can often be used to say multiple different things depending on how you're looking at it, whether it's glass half empty, glass half full. It doesn't seem that long ago that we were talking about back-to-back defeats, everything felt a little bit doom and gloom.
Yeah.
So you got back-to-back wins. You could make that, with the right result, 3 wins on the trot on Saturday, yeah, and suddenly things are looking much more brighter.
Yeah, well, we've won 3 out of the last 4 in all competitions. Obviously, Bath were up there, Yeovil were up there. They were the ones that beat us. Haven't was a good result there because they were fighting for their lives even at this early stage. So yeah, I mean, I don't often use the saying, you know, we've turned the corner, because the next defeat and suddenly it's different. But we got a couple of away games before we have a couple of home games, And so we're very focused at the minute on keeping this. It's not a run, but two wins. It's a mini run. So we got. You have to create a reputation, and then that reputation you have to guard with your life, and that's how we talk to the players about it. And I felt we got our reputation back, certainly in that last game, of being, as you said, in the image of what the manager is looking for.
Now, with that being that Yeovil win coming at home again, it only strengthens the fact that the form at Plainmoor at home has been very, very strong. With these next two games against Dartford and Eastbourne being away from home, a chance to firm up that form as well.
Yeah, it is, and both long trips, of course, for us. So we've got to manage that, and then you've got to game manage when you get there, because you want them turning up as bright as possible. So you try and keep all the positives that go into the psychology of two away games, knowing that you've got two home games coming up that we all enjoy. We enjoy the away wins, don't get me wrong, because that's always nice. The journey's a lot shorter when you're coming back after a win, as you know, and you two travel on the bus with us, so you know the difference in the atmosphere on the bus from a defeat to a win.
Whilst we're talking about statistics, if I could just throw a few more past you. This week it's seen you clock up you're now the second most wins as any Torquay manager with 117. Third for games in charge of any Torquay manager with 250. And you've got the second highest win percentage of 46.8% in wins as a Torquay manager. You must take a lot of pride in that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't look at it every day and go, this is me 250th. I didn't know that. Seems, and I wonder I've got no hair, and seems like a long time, 250 games. But no, it's nice. It's nice to have those stats, to know that people used to say that you couldn't get you could get a nice job if you was over 45% win percentage. So that's nice. Might get a Premier League job. So, but there'll be a few people going, you got no chance. You too. No. So yeah, nice. I appreciate you saying that, and it's good. Was it Eric Webber? Was it Eric Webber was the first one who got, what did he do, 620 games or something?
He was here for 15 years.
Yeah, I know, unbelievable.
Don't tend to go yet, Gary.
Yeah.
Now, another thing that managers are obviously judged on is the quality of their signings. You must be absolutely delighted. The players that you've brought in recently have all performed when they've been called upon. Yeah,
they have, and we needed to boost the squad, as we know. We didn't want to just bring in people for the sake of it, but the boys have shown a good. The impression they've given us, the first impression has been good, and whenever players come in, I always say, you've got to create a good first impression, or you never get a second chance to create a first impression, and that always, once they've thought about it, they understand that, and I think all of them have created a good first impression, and they're all decent players as well. Bournemouth think very highly of Archie, and I took a little bit of a punt on Ethan, and I think people can see why, and I think he's going to be a very good player. And Dolan and I had a discussion after one of the games where he came off early, and actually he was a little bit wasn't quite right. He took a chance on hoping that he'd be fit enough to see the game out at Yeovil, but wasn't. And then he came back strong and showed everybody what he can do. He had a good Hampton game, but we lost that game, and I'm pleased with the way he's handled it, the way he's coped with that, and the way he's come out and shown us all, I'm a player, and so that's good as well.
I was doing Archie House a bit of a disservice by not mentioning, because actually even in his brief cameo against Yeovil, he already seems to have won a few admirers with the way that he was dealing with a physical test against you.
Yeah, he's a young Mox, isn't he, with a Asa Hall haircut, so he's a love child of Mox and Asa. And he's quick. You know, I just like the way, you know, we love Frank to bits, Frank Newell, but he hits him with a good tackle, a proper tackle, not a foul. Even Frank didn't moan about it, but you know, he knew that if he got near him, there was a tackle coming in, sort of thing. You know, so he don't mind a tackle, and he is quick. And for somebody who's just 6 foot, he's decent in the air as well. So he covers a few positions.
And finally, Gaffer, looking ahead to Saturday first and foremost, 2 away games, but what are you expecting from Dartford?
Dartford, big team. They do go long. You know, they're very direct. They've got 2 6'3" or so players up front. So you have to be aware of that. You have to handle that. The best way to handle it is to keep the ball yourself for longer, and then compete when the ball goes up to them. So when they got beat this week, their last game, but if they had won, they'd have gone above us on goal difference. But they didn't. If they won, they'd have gone above us on goal difference, but they didn't. So they're in that middle pack that's tight at the moment, very tight, and one win takes you up a few places and one defeat drops you a few places. You know, we've got a couple of games in hand on most teams now, 1 and 2 games in hand. But so you know, we'll have to look at it when we start playing our games that we've lost for whatever, you know, not lost, but we lost through the weather and Weymouth being in there in another competition. So we might have to wait to get back into that top 7 again. But hopefully we've got to look at ourselves, see where we might be, but it's not guaranteed, and get ourselves back up there, you know, competing with the top 2 or 3.